Hello model car fans, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week I'm working on updating you on this build here, my DDP Models Resin GT40 Roadster. I'm building exactly like this from the box, exactly box stock, but I got a couple of things I'm working on here. And so I've got the body pretty much painted, and I got like you saw, it was primed and everything. So I got it all sprayed and straightened out. So I got a coat of white on here. This is actually Dover white that I had left over from 69 Camaro project, because that's actually a factory color for that. But it's a real creamy white, but it pretty much matches the box art photo and some of the photos online that I'm seeing. So here it is. I got the color on it, which this is an enamel. This is actually Scale Finishes paint, but it was, like I said, it's leftover from what I had. And here's the chassis. So the chassis is primed, and I just shot the sides here, and then I just color sanded the overspray off of it, which is why it's still wet here. But I color sanded it, getting it all ready for the next step. But since this car goes together in an unusual manner, since you clamshell it, so here I am. I'm going to work the decals here, and so like here's the decals. And I was looking at the auction photos where this is black on the side and then the stripes are blue. I thought it was kind of awkward, but when I'm looking at the restored car and how it is, this is pretty accurate to how it is. But I got to lay these decals on, and the weird part is this 15, the Ford GT and the bottom half of the 15 go on the rocker, and then the upper portion goes on top of the door. So to lay the decals, I've got to put this together, mock it up, and then get the decal on here and line up the decal on the side, get them all done, and then get, of course, the rest of the decals on the body. But I got to line these up. And then once I get them there, and I like to bury them in the clear, so I'll clear coat all of this and get it all lined up. So once it's where I'm at, and then I'll go ahead and clear coat those areas of the body. Then I'll work on painting the entire interior and then the inside of this black, and detailing this a little bit. So, and then once the interior is completely done, I'll be able to glue it together, and then I plan on working on the suspension of some of those bits and getting the tires lined up. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So my next steps are going to be getting these parts, these decals laid on, get everything all lined up, and we'll see how it goes and get this thing cleared. So that's kind of an update on this, and that's where I'm at with this at the moment. So I appreciate you watching, but stay tuned. Well, here's where I update this, but let you know where I kind of wish I had some instructions on an orderly fashion in which way to do this, and some of the parts that I should be using, because I painted this body, and after doing it and getting it ready, but thankfully I realized it before I put any of the decals on. So I got the body painted, and then I realized when I was getting ready to put the decals on that I forgot about the photo etch, which there's a whole fret of it, and mainly that this piece goes on the front and needs to be painted. So this should be on here and glued, and on this particular car, my reference photos, this is painted. So I'm like, okay, well, I kind of goofed that up, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I do need to order some more paint, so it's probably going to be a little while. But so I realized this needs to be painted. And looking at my reference photos, I also realized the fog light is in here. And this comes with these photo etch or vacuum formed things that look like they attach under here, and that the fog light is attached to it. But it doesn't appear that way when I look at my reference photos, that I need to put this down. And it also comes with this vacuum formed nose, which I need to cut for the headlights out here, and then also cut for these lenses to smooth them out. But I need to get those figured out. So when I look at my reference photos, which I'll post some of these up here, I need to figure some of those out. So now I need to get how to get that light, which they're provided. They're right here. But now I need to figure out how to get that in there. So it looks like I got to drill holes or Dremel some holes into the body right there to get them recessed in there. And I also, since I had the photo etched, I started to dig out some of the other parts and make sure that they fit. Because some of these things I didn't check to see if they fit. This is for the engine cover. And then more of these grills that go in here. So this should go right in here. And these actually fit pretty well. Not perfect, but I should have checked all this before I got painted. But I was getting ahead of myself and getting pretty excited about this particular car and the build. But also, it's got all of these, which I think these are the uprights that go right here for the window. I think that's what these are. It's got these for the front, which are 2 pieces. And then it's got these also, but it looks like I only need to use these 2 on this and not these other 4. And I've got all these other photo etch pieces that I pretty much have figured out where they go. But like I said, no directions. And then I've got this piece. I got 2 of these, which go along the bottom of the window. And then also these uprights that go on the windshield to the door window. And all of these are actually painted body color. So I'm like, alright, I need to figure out how to attach these and glue them on and paint them. So right now I'm trying to figure out, do I attach these to the body right here? Because the flat ones should go right here. The other back ones should go right here. And then the front ones go right up here. So then I started working on the vacuum formed glass. So I trimmed it, started working on it, getting it to fit in here. And so mocking it up, I mean, it's getting in there, and I'm liking the way this looks and it's fitting, but now that I get it here, I need to mock these up where this should really go like right here. But do I glue it to the vacuum formed window, or do I find something to glue onto the inside, which I keep thinking I'm going to try a piece of tin can, soda can, just trim little strips of it, glue it on the underside, bend it up, and then glue it on there. And same thing with these, maybe get them bent to where I can paint them with the body, or not really sure how I'm going to do any of that. So, and then this is really thin, so it's really hard to actually glue them right to this. And what do I use to actually glue them to this? Probably white glue, but got to figure some of that out. So I got to order some more paint. I like this Dove white that I used here, Dover white. So I haven't really sanded on this too much since then, because I was going to color sand on it. I hit it in a couple of spots that need to be flattened out. I did sand it right here, but I did some sanding on that to get it all flattened out, figuring out what I'm going to do. And now I got to sand this. I got a spot right here, get this piece glued on and shaped, and figure out some of the rest of this photo etch. So this really hasn't moved too much. As more I get involved in it, the more puzzled I get. But I'm figuring it out. And then one of the last things I did, these are pewter or white metal or whatever they actually, you say they are. But I decided they weren't straight. So I put them in kind of like a drill press and drilled them out. So got those a bit more straight so I can get the axles in there much easier. Or maybe even the rubber inserts that the Fujimi kit uses. So I did manage to drill all 4 of those out. Not really perfectly centered, but pretty darn close. Much better than they were, but they're actually straight now. So I'm still working on some of these, and these need to be painted gold. So I'll get them painted. But just still trying to figure it out. Now this is my first real full resin kit that supposedly doesn't need any extra parts, and I'm still just trying to figure it out. But I really do wish it had some instructions or better guidance on how to put it together, or an order to put it together, and what specific parts are used and not used, because like I said in other videos, he's got multiple parts, and I'm not really sure of a better order to put this stuff in. But this goes on the back here, so that fits pretty good. There's a piece here and a piece here, and then there's multiple like Zeus fittings that are on here, and then what looks like might be the door buttons that aren't here, and I got other parts. So I'm still trying to figure some of this stuff out, but learning curve for me, not something I do a lot of. And it looks like this is more formed right off of the Fujimi body, because I mean you can see where the brake dust went on that one. So I'm still figuring it out and learning, but I'm going to do some more body work and order some more paint for this. So it might be a little while before you see any updates on this one again. But I just want you to know where it's at, what I'm doing with it, and where I kind of goofed up or my excitement got a little the best of me there and got a little far ahead, and kind of wish I had those parts figured out and glued on here before I started painting this. But a little bit more paint, not a big deal. Got to order it, wait a little bit on that, and figure this out. But since I'm bouncing back and forth between other projects, I got some others that are close and some that have been sitting patiently waiting for me to get back to. Keep an eye out on this one, and I'll keep you updated. But thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for all your comments. I really appreciate it. And you guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next Saturday.